As a small little grassroots campaign from a small northern town, and we've been coming down to London since last semester. I guess last October we did a presentation in part with Jay Danson, and we're doing the same thing for you today. Now, who is LovetheLabel? Well, we'd like you to meet the team. Lucia, DeMarco, Michaela, you can see a lot of DeMarcos in there. It's a bit of a family, it's spread over into a bit of a family affair. But really some incredible women. We've got Angela Morris in the audience. We've got Natalie taking some photos for us. My sister Michaela, my mom Susan, and of course myself, Marina. My other sister's not here. My first question to you would be, have you ever wondered about what's inside your makeup, your toothpaste, your antiperspirant, your perfume, or your shampoo? Hands up. Has anybody really wondered, what is making my shampoo sudsy? What is making my hair clean? What is making that perfume last and stay on my clothes, maybe even for days? What's making that dryer sheet smell so good? Well, I can tell you a bit of a story, and I won't bore you with too many exhausting details because it's a long one. But about a year and a half ago, my sister, who's in the environmental biology program at Nipissing, well, she decided to leave the room whenever I would put OPI nail polish on. Or I would wear some hairspray, and she would get into a bit of a huff and be like, I can't believe you wear that, that's not good for you. And she'd leave the room. And as a diva, as someone who had 3 different Britney Spears perfumes, just in case I ran out, I didn't really understand what she was saying. There was a gap in my idea of a product that was going to be good for me, and of course, what it was actually doing for my health and the health of the environment. So, long story short, I was sent to the Skin Deep database, and I'm not sure if anyone here has heard of this database, but it was put together by the Environmental Working Group in the United States. And what they did was develop basically a compilation of scientific testing based on a toxicity scale from 0 to 10. 0, which is our nice 0 to 2, our nice little green section here on our products on display. 3 to 6 would be the moderate hazard zone, and 7 to 10 would be the high hazard zone. Now, our yellow and red zones are usually linked to cancer, birth defects, immune system dysfunction, endocrine dysfunction, meaning it plays with our very own body chemistry, our hormones, and of course headaches, migraines, skin irritation, eye irritation, the list goes on. Our green zone is actually only linked to bioaccumulation, meaning it can build up in the tissues of your body. However, it is not linked to something like cancer. You could maybe get an allergic reaction from an essential oil, but at least it's not an allergic reaction that could also be linked to a birth defect. So the green zone is the safe bet, and the Skin Deep database is basically a place where you can type in any product you want. It's now 69,000 different products that they've tested, and you can type in any brand, any. Not used to this. You can type in anything, and it will give you the breakdown of every single ingredient, what it's linked to, what testing has been done on it, what studies are inconclusive, what studies have been done on animals. It's extensive. So, little did I know, as someone who had tons of different makeup, MAC, you name it, Clinique, I had it all. I typed everything I owned, I numbered all of them with little post-it notes, and then I looked at my makeup bag, I looked at my shower, I saw red and I saw yellow. I saw all of these products that were linked to cancer, that were linked to all these problems, and I thought this was a problem, obviously. So I said, Lucia, what do we do about this? We got a team of girls together, and we started contacting really big organizations like the David Suzuki Foundation, Environmental Defense, the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics in the United States, Femtoxic and Breast Cancer Awareness in Montreal, and we just decided we need information from these big organizations because they have the information, but why don't I know about this? Why don't I, as a university graduate, why don't I have this information when I go to the shopping, when I go to Shoppers Drug Mart, when I go to Walmart, when I go to pick up some laundry detergent, why don't I know? So these were the questions we asked. Now, the background of the Skin Deep database really started with a study done on phthalates. Has anyone heard of what phthalates are? Mm-hmm. Well, they aren't required to be listed on the label. Sometimes you can come across one. But the Center for Disease Control in the States actually found 7 different kinds of this set of industrial chemicals in products and in people. So 289 people were tested, and they found 7 different kinds of this set of chemical inside them. Now, phthalates are very powerful reproductive and developmental toxins, which means they could very much contribute to birth defects. They're commonly found in car dashboards, MP3 players, things that hold color and scent, cosmetics, obviously, they find them in hairsprays, they find them in nail polish, they find them in your shower curtains. And they found the highest level of these in women of childbearing age, so between 20 and 40 years old, they were finding the highest thing, the highest amount. And maybe he's born with it, maybe it's, I was planning on Maybelline there, but don't tell anyone. Animals that have been exposed to phthalates were shown to have lower sperm counts and birth defects, undescended testicles, and testicular atrophy. And the results are very much a reflection of the demasculinization of society today, where we're seeing more and more male babies being born with hypospadias, so their testicles aren't dropping. More and more surgeries are going in to understand why this isn't happening in the womb before the newborns are actually born. So Jane Houlihan, who developed the Skin Deep database, actually decided to branch off from what she usually works on, which was environmental, like food, environmental problems with air and water. She decided, I wonder what's in my nail polish. And she went down to a corner store in San Francisco, and she started going through all these brands of nail polish, and she was finding dibutyl phthalate in 37 common nail polish brands. And another test concluded that 75% of our products actually contain this chemical, and some very popular brands, as I've listed above, actually buy patents for these chemicals to put in their products. And they're allowed to do this because it is not allowed, it is not needed to be listed on the label. It's not something that has to be, it's not regulated, basically. So we put these are some products that we used to use, and as you can see, they're on our display. I'm sure you recognize most of these brands. Women, do you recognize these brands?
Yeah.
We've got some male products. Any shout out to the boys? What about baby products? So it turns out that the average woman in Canada uses about 12 different personal care products on their body, and men use usually about half of that. I myself counted it up and found I was using 21 different products a day. Some men, of course, have started using the self-tanners, the hair gel, all these different things, so that list can go up as well. So we talked about the Skin Deep database toxicity scale. What does this actually mean? Specifically, if you're low hazard, moderate hazard, high hazard, all of the things that are listed above are what these zones are usually linked to and what you can find there. High hazard, of course, always at least containing a chemical that is carcinogenic, which is linked to cancer. So what we found with these common products were these numbers. Is this surprising? I know that my Britney Spears perfume ranked a big 10. That was a nice little warning sign for me. The same thing could be said about male products. Very common brands that are marketed to you to be safe, friendly, you know, who knows, a sense of allure, you know, a nice Armani, Giorgio Armani, the huge status that they have and the power that they hold, and they're using that marketing to get you to buy their product. And the same thing could be said about baby products. And we have other concerns as well. Is there bisphenol A in your baby's soother? Is there chlorine in your baby's diaper washes? Is there sodium lauryl sulfate, which is a common sudsing agent that is also linked to skin irritation and may be linked to cancer? Is that, you know, tumbling in your baby's, you know, are you washing your child's clothes with that? So why are all of these products in the moderate and high hazard zones? Why as consumers have we not gone out and asked these questions? Why have we not been given the tools? Well, we have been, but why can't we find them easily? So LovetheLabel put together a list of chemicals to avoid, and we explain these on our tip cards. If you look on the back, we're going to explain them in a little bit of detail. First and foremost, aluminum. I don't want to go into too many of the details, but those are some common names that you can find them hidden under. It's a known neurotoxin. They've actually found it in plaques of people who have Alzheimer's disease. In the plaques on the brain, they found aluminum. They've also found it to build up underneath your armpit, where antiperspirant is commonly applied. And it's actually it's a kind of a gross process because they actually make sure there's a certain concentration of aluminum in each antiperspirant in order for it to be considered an antiperspirant. Now, deodorants are for just masking the odor, but antiperspirants actually inject aluminum ions into the pores underneath your armpit, and it causes, the water is attracted to it, so the sweat that's coming out is attracted to the aluminum ions. It causes it to swell, shutting your pore closed. So not only are you clogging your pores, but your toxins, the toxins that are supposed to naturally come out through your sweat, aren't able to do this. They start to build up under your arm. That's gross. Coal tar dyes, it's a black liquid distilled from coal that's very simple. It's a known human carcinogen, but you can find it usually with a color and then a number. So yellow 5, red lake 6, all of these dyes are usually found at the end of the ingredients list, but that doesn't mean that they're, free and clear. It means that you need to throw that product away. That really long word there, phenylenediamine, it's a coal tar dye that's used to dye your hair. And it's also linked to bladder cancer because once that dye soaks into your scalp, your bloodstream is obviously right underneath. It's going to take it up. It's going to go right to your kidneys because your body needs to just get it out. And of course, when it sits in the kidneys for a while, it goes right into your bladder, and that's why it's been linked to bladder cancer. Diamiatia. These are usually found in products to make them creamy or sudsy, so you can find them in lotions and body washes. They're eye and skin irritants, so you don't want to get them in your eye, but it can affect the immune and nervous system. They actually may react with nitrites in your cosmetics, which you don't know are in there. So you're using mascara or you're using eyeshadow that have nitrites, and then you're using maybe a cleanser to wash your face that has diamiatia. It's going to react to form